Aren't sharks. They're not lions. They're not even snakes. They're smaller than your thumb. They're on every continent. They're in your backyard. Some of them are probably within 10 feet of you right now. And you don't even know it. Insects. The ones most people swat away without a second thought. But don't let their size fool you, because some of these tiny creatures are responsible for millions of human deaths every single year. Some deliver venom so powerful it can stop putting down the top 10 deadliest insects on the planet. And trust me, you're going to want to stay until number 1, because the answer might genuinely shock you. Let's get into it. Kicking off our list at number 10, meet the assassin bug. Now, the name alone should tell you everything you need to know. This isn't an insect that accidentally stumbles into danger. This thing is built for one purpose: to kill. Found across South and Central America, parts of Africa, and even some regions of the southern United States, the assassin bug earns its terrifying reputation not through venom alone, but through something far more sinister. It's a carrier, a delivery system for a disease called Chagas disease, caused by a parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi. Here's where it gets horrifying. The assassin bug, also nicknamed the kissing bug, tends to bite humans near the mouth or eyes while they sleep. Sounds almost cute until you realize what happens next. After it bites you, it defecates on the wound. And when you instinctively rub your face in your sleep, you unknowingly rub the infected feces directly into the bite or your eyes. That parasite then begins its slow, silent invasion of your body. Chagas disease has 2 phases. The first phase? Many people don't even know they have it. Mild fever, fatigue, a little swelling. Easy to dismiss. But the second phase, the chronic phase, that's where it gets deadly. Over years, sometimes decades, the parasite quietly destroys your heart and digestive organs from the inside. Around 7 million people worldwide are currently infected, and approximately 10,000 people die from it every single year. Slow, silent, deadly. That's the assassin bug. Enough to wander near their nest, they release a pheromone signal that calls the entire colony to attack. We're talking dozens, sometimes hundreds of hornets swarming a single target simultaneously. In Japan, the Japanese giant hornet kills an average of 30 to 50 people every year. And in recent years, they've been spotted spreading beyond Asia, with colonies confirmed in parts of North America, sending alarm bells ringing among entomologists worldwide. If you ever see one, and you'll know because they are shockingly large, do not run, do not swat. Move away slowly and calmly, because disturbing them is the last mistake you want to make. Number 8, and this one is less about a single insect and more about what happens when millions of them move together as one. Meet the driver ant, also called the Siafu ant in parts of Africa. Individually, fairly unremarkable. But driver ants don't operate individually. They operate in super colonies, swarms of up to 50 million ants moving in a single coordinated mass across the forest floor, consuming virtually everything in their path. We're not exaggerating when we say everything. These ants are essentially an army with mandibles powerful enough to tear through flesh. They've been documented killing and consuming lizards, small mammals, and even larger animals that are immobilized or unable to escape. There are recorded cases of human infants and incapacitated adults dying from driver ant attacks, overwhelmed and suffocated by sheer numbers before help could arrive. What makes them even more unsettling is the silence of their approach. A swarm of 50 million ants can move almost soundlessly through terrain, and by the time you realize they're there, you could already be surrounded. In some parts of Africa, locals actually use driver ants as makeshift sutures, pressing the ant's head against a wound until it bites down, then snapping the body off, leaving the mandibles locked in place to close the cut. Useful, terrifying. Both. Number 7 brings us to one of Africa's oldest and most devastating killers, the tsetse fly. Now, the tsetse fly doesn't sting. It doesn't have powerful venom or razor-sharp mandibles. What it has is far worse. It is one of the most effective disease vectors on the planet. The tsetse fly carries and transmits African sleeping sickness, a disease caused by a parasite called Trypanosoma brucei. Found exclusively in sub-Saharan Africa, this fly transmits the parasite through its bite, and what follows is one of the most disturbing progressions of any insect-borne illness in the world. In the first stage, victims experience fever, headaches, joint pain, and itching. Manageable, almost flu-like. But in the second stage, the parasite crosses the blood-brain barrier, and that's where things become deeply frightening. Victims begin to experience severe neurological disruption, confusion, personality changes, seizures, and most notably, an extreme disruption to the sleep cycle, causing people to fall asleep randomly during the day and remain awake in extreme agony through the night. Hence the name, African sleeping sickness. Untreated, it is virtually always fatal. At its peak, it devastated entire communities across sub-Saharan Africa and has been one of the key reasons large parts of Central Africa have remained difficult to develop or farm, because the tsetse also devastates livestock populations. Today, thanks to medical intervention, deaths have reduced significantly. But tens of thousands of people are still affected annually, and the tsetse fly remains one of the most dangerous insects on the African continent. At number 6, an insect that won't kill you with disease, won't hunt you down in a swarm, won't dissolve your tissue. No. The bullet ant earns its place on this list because of pure, undiluted, incomprehensible pain. The bullet ant, found throughout the rainforests of Central and South America, holds the title of delivering the single most painful insect sting on Earth. This isn't opinion. This is according to the Schmidt Sting Pain Index, a scientific scale created by entomologist Dr. Justin Schmidt, who, in the name of science, was stung by hundreds of insects and documented the pain. The bullet ant sits alone at the top, a level 4, the maximum. Schmidt described the sting as pure, intense, brilliant pain, like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel. And the pain doesn't last minutes. It lasts 24 hours, a full day of relentless, wave-like agony that no over-the-counter painkiller can meaningfully touch. Victims report uncontrollable trembling, sweating, and temporary paralysis of the affected limb. And yet, in an extraordinary display of human culture, the Sateré-Moé tribe of Brazil weave bullet ants into gloves and require young men to wear them for 10 full minutes as a rite of passage into manhood. The boys must endure the stings, hundreds of them simultaneously, without crying out. They do this ritual 20 times before they're considered warriors. The bullet ant won't kill you, but after 24 hours of that pain, you might wish it had. Number 5. And I need you to brace yourself for this one, because this is where we leave pain and disease behind and enter something that is deeply, viscerally disturbing. Meet the human botfly, Dermatobia hominis. Found across Central and South America, the botfly has developed one of the most horrifying reproductive strategies in the entire insect kingdom. It doesn't sting you, it doesn't bite you directly. Instead, the female botfly captures a mosquito or another biting insect and glues her eggs onto its body. Then she releases it. When that mosquito lands on you to feed, the warmth of your skin triggers the eggs to hatch instantly. And the larvae, tiny hook-covered maggots, burrow directly into your skin before you even feel them. And then they live there, inside you, growing. The botfly larva breathes through a small hole it keeps open at the surface of your skin. If you look closely enough, and most people do not want to, you can actually see it moving. Breathing. Feeding on your tissue from the inside. It stays there for anywhere from 5 to 12 weeks, growing larger every day before eventually emerging as a fully developed fly. Removal is its own ordeal. The larva has backward-facing hooks that grip the surrounding flesh. Pull too hard or too fast, and it ruptures inside the wound, causing serious infection. The recommended method is to seal the breathing hole with petroleum jelly, suffocating the larva until it backs out on its own. The botfly won't kill you under normal circumstances, but it is one of the most psychologically disturbing experiences a human being can endure. And once you've seen footage of a botfly larva being removed, and that footage is very much on the internet, you will never look at a mosquito bite the same way again. Number 4. And this one doesn't need an exotic setting or a rainforest location to find you. This one might already be in your neighborhood. The Africanized honeybee, commonly known as the killer bee, is one of the most aggressive and relentlessly dangerous insects on the planet. And its story begins not in the wild, but in a laboratory. In 1956, Brazilian scientists were attempting to crossbreed African honeybees with European honeybees to create a strain that produced more honey in tropical climates. The experiment worked, perhaps too well. In 1957, 26 swarms escaped quarantine, and what followed was one of the most alarming ecological spreads in modern history. The Africanized honeybee spread northward through South America, through Central America, and into the southern United States, at a rate of nearly 200 miles per year. Today, they're established across large parts of the Americas, and there is no stopping their expansion. Here's what makes them so deadly. It's not their individual sting. Individually, an Africanized honeybee sting is no more venomous than a standard honeybee sting. The danger is their behavior. They are 10 times more likely to sting than European honeybees. They respond to perceived threats in seconds. They pursue targets for up to a quarter of a mile. And when one bee stings and releases its alarm pheromone, thousands follow within moments. There are documented cases of humans receiving over 1,000 stings in a single attack. The cumulative venom from that volume of stings is enough to kill even a healthy adult, and has done exactly that multiple times. They've killed horses. They've killed cattle. In 2013, a Texas man was attacked and stung over 200 times while clearing brush near a fence post, never knowing a hive was hidden inside. You don't provoke killer bees. You don't outrun them. If attacked, your only option is to run, in a straight line, and find enclosed shelter as fast as your legs will carry you. Number 3, another ant. And before you think we're doubling up unnecessarily, the fire ant deserves its own entry because what it lacks in individual size, it more than compensates for in sheer, coordinated, relentless aggression. The red imported fire. Ant Solenopsis invicta, originally from South America, is now one of the most invasive and dangerous insect species in the world. Established across the southern United States, Australia, parts of Asia, and beyond, these ants have colonized over 300 million acres of land globally. Their sting is uniquely awful. Unlike most insect stings that inject protein-based venom, fire ant venom is almost entirely composed of alkaloid compounds, specifically solenopsin, which causes an immediate, intense burning sensation that gives the ant its name. The sting raises a white pustule within hours that itches for days. But that's just the cosmetic damage. For people with allergies, and an estimated 1 to 2 million Americans are severely allergic, a single fire ant sting can trigger anaphylactic shock. A mass attack can kill an allergic individual within minutes. And mass attacks happen regularly because fire ants don't just sting once. They clamp down with their mandibles and sting repeatedly, rotating in a circle, delivering multiple doses of venom with each attack. What makes them truly remarkable and terrifying is their behavior during floods. Fire ants don't drown. When floodwaters rise, entire colonies link their bodies together, hundreds of thousands of ants forming a living raft that can float for weeks. A floating mass of fire ants that washes against your skin will immediately swarm. Number 2, and we're going back in time, because to truly understand why the flea sits at number 2 on this list, you need to understand the scale of destruction it has caused throughout human history. The common flea. Tiny, wingless, nearly invisible to the naked eye, and indirectly responsible for one of the greatest mass death events in human history. The flea, specifically the oriental rat flea, Xenopsilla chaopus, was the primary vector for Yersinia pestis, the bacterium behind bubonic plague, the Black Death. Between 1347 and 1351, the Black Death swept across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Conservative estimates put the death toll at 75 million people. Some historians believe it killed as many as 200 million. In Europe alone, it wiped out between 1/3 and 1/2 of the entire population. Entire villages were erased. Cities were crippled. The social, economic, and psychological impact reshaped the course of human civilization. And it all traveled on fleas. Fleas feeding on infected rats would pick up the bacteria, then transmit it to humans through their bites. The infection would spread through lymph nodes, causing the iconic swollen black lumps, called buboes, before progressing to the blood and lungs. Untreated, bubonic plague carried a fatality rate of up to 90%. The plague didn't stop in the 14th century. It returned in waves for the next 400 years. A third pandemic beginning in the 1850s killed an additional 12 million people in India alone. Even today, bubonic plague still exists. Fleas still carry it. A small number of cases are reported globally every single year, including in the United States. The only reason it no longer spreads at medieval scale is modern medicine, sanitation, and antibiotics. The flea is less than 3 millimeters long. It has killed hundreds of millions of people. No other creature on this list comes close to that body count, except for one. Number 1. And if you've watched our previous videos, the deadliest sea creatures, how to survive a shark attack, the deadliest snakes, you know we don't throw number 1 around lightly. But this one is undisputed. The mosquito, the single deadliest animal on the planet. Not just the deadliest insect, the deadliest animal. Full stop. Let that sit for a moment. The shark, that apex predator we fear every time we step into the ocean, kills fewer than 10 people globally per year. The lion, fewer than 200. Even the saltwater crocodile, one of the most terrifying animals alive, kills an estimated 1,000 people annually. The mosquito kills 725,000 people every single year, nearly 750,000 people, every year, year after year after year. The mosquito itself isn't the weapon, it's the delivery system. It carries and transmits more lethal diseases than any other creature in the animal kingdom. Malaria, dengue fever, Zika virus, yellow fever, West Nile virus, chikungunya, lymphatic filariasis, Japanese encephalitis. Malaria alone, transmitted by the female Anopheles mosquito, is responsible for an estimated 600,000 deaths per year, the overwhelming majority of them children under the age of 5 in sub-Saharan Africa. Over the entire course of human history, it is estimated that malaria has killed more human beings than every war ever fought combined. Read that again. More than every war, ever, combined. And yet the mosquito continues to thrive. With over 3,500 known species, mosquitoes are found on every continent except Antarctica. They breed in as little as a bottle cap of stagnant water. A female mosquito can lay up to 300 eggs at a time. They've been on this planet for over 100 million years, long before the dinosaurs disappeared, and they show absolutely no signs of going anywhere. Scientists are actively working on solutions: gene drive technology, sterile male releases, genetically modified mosquitoes. Some of these programs have shown promising results in limited trials. But a world without mosquitoes remains for now a distant hope. Until then, the mosquito remains what it has always been: the undisputed, unchallenged, most dangerous creature to ever share this planet with us, hidden in plain sight, buzzing softly in the dark, and there you have it. The top 10 deadliest insects on the planet. From the silent horror of the assassin bug, to the unbearable pain of the bullet ant, to the living nightmare of the botfly, you don't have to travel to the Amazon or the African savanna to encounter most of these creatures. Some of them are right outside your door, Some of them are biting you right now and you don't even feel it. So the next time you swat away a fly or ignore a mosquito buzzing near your ear, remember this video. If you made it to the end, drop a comment below. What number shocked you the most? I'm betting number 1 caught a few of you off guard. If you're new here, we've already covered the top 10 deadliest sea creatures, how to survive a shark attack, and the top 10 deadliest snakes. Links are in the description. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Stay safe out there and watch where you step.